Chapter 41 Wei Xue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at the two Gangqi sword lights coming towards him, Yang Feng snorted coldly, formed a fist with his right hand, and swung it forward. Two fist shadows surged out from Yang Feng's fists. The shadows of two fierce tigers appeared above the two fist shadows, making a loud roar of tigers. They merged into the two fist shadows and faced the two Gangqi knives. Mang, boom. 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 Accompanied by violent roars, the two fist shadows easily defeated the two Gangqi sword lights, and bombarded the guards of the two genie youths with unabated force. The terrifying power exploded instantly, knocking the two genie people away. The young man's guard was shattered into pieces and turned into a bloody mist, scattered on the ground. Killed. He killed someone. You're killing someone, run away. Seeing this scene, the nearby farmers and people showed frightened expressions and scrambled to escape into the distance, not daring to stay where they were. The young man in Genie's face changed drastically, and his eyes were full of panic. As he backed away, he shouted loudly, "Senior, I am Zhao Kuei, the young master of Zhao Family Trading Company. What happened today is my fault. I am willing to pay 100,000 yuan. A gold coin as compensation. Please spare my life. Our Zhao family trading firm is not only the largest trading firm in the Fiery Flame Kingdom, with a powerful escort team and 3 magic realm monks serving as worshippers, but it is also the 8th prince's largest source of wealth and has the 8th prince's protection. If Senior insists on killing me, he will not only be chased by our Zhao family guard team, but also by the strong men under the 8th prince. I will die without any chance of survival. Therefore, I hope that Senior can spare my life, get compensation of 100,000 gold coins, and friendship with our Zhao family firm and the 8th prince." After listening to the words of the young man in Genie, Yang Feng's expression did not change, and he said in a cold tone, "When you threatened me in order to attack me, your fate of death was already determined, and no one can save you. As for the Zhao family trading company and the 8th prince among you, forget it if they don't cause trouble for me. If they dare to cause trouble to me, I don't mind killing them all." After saying that, Yang Feng formed a fist with his right hand and swung it in the direction of the young man in Genie. A fist shadow shot out from it and hit the young man in Genie, turning it into a blood mist and falling on the ground. "Wei Xue has met Senior, thank you for your life-saving grace." Seeing Yang Feng approaching slowly, the girl stood up and thanked Yang Feng with a grateful look on her face. "Don't my Senior, it sounds weird. I am Yang Feng, you, my brother Feng, or Mr. Feng are all fine." Yang Feng looked at Wei Xue with a smile and said, Wei Xue's action before stabbing Zhao Kuei with a dagger was very brave, which Yang Feng admired very much. Therefore, Yang Feng spoke very softly. "Master Feng, you killed someone, and the city guards will be gone soon. You'd better run away. Once you are caught by the city guards, you will be dead." Wei Xue said to Yang Feng with a worried look on her face. "Don't worry, the city guards don't dare to arrest me. On the other hand, because you are weak, you are likely to become the target of revenge from the Zhao family trading company. Let's do this. I'll be my good guy and escort you home to keep you safe." Looking at Wei Xue with a worried look on his face, Yang Feng smiled slightly. "Master Feng, I can't go home yet. I want to sell my straw sandals to buy medicine for our mother and food for my brother." Wei Xue shook her head gently and said, "I want these straw sandals. This is a gold ticket worth 100 gold coins. Keep it." Yang Feng chuckled, took out a gold ticket worth 100 gold coins from the space ring, and handed it to Wei Xue. After saying that, Yang Feng waved his hand and put all the straw sandals on the ground into the space ring. "Master Feng, this is too much money, I can't accept it." Wei Xue shook her head gently and said. After saying that, Wei Xue took a step back and refused to accept the golden ticket. 100 gold coins is not much. In my eyes, the value of these straw sandals far exceeds 100 gold coins, so just accept them. Seeing Wei Xue's movement, Yang Feng smiled slightly, took a step forward, and stuffed the gold ticket into Wei Xue's palm. "Let's go, I'll take you into the city to buy medicine and food." After saying that, Yang Feng took Wei Xue's little hand and walked towards the east city gate. Seeing Yang Feng walking towards the city gate, the face of the city guard at the east city gate changed drastically, and his legs trembled. He quickly threw away the stainless steel spear in his hand, for fear that Yang Feng would misunderstand and kill himself and others. Although these city guards are all ordinary body refining level warriors, they still have some understanding of warriors and monks. They know that Yang Feng is an extremely powerful monk who can fly into the sky and escape from the earth. He is not an ordinary city guard like himself. Guards can be offended, therefore, even if these guards at the east city gate saw the scene of Yang Feng killing Zhao Kuei, they did not dare to come forward, let alone speak out, for fear that they would also be killed instantly, if they didn't want to lose the city guard guarding this city, and didn't want to become deserters and subject to harsh military law. These guards at the east city gate would have fled long ago. Soon, Yang Feng took Wei Xue's little hand and came to the entrance of the east city gate. At this time, Yang Feng's heart moved and he asked Wei Xue, have you ever entered Raging Flame City? Do you know where the medicine shop in the city is? Wei Xue shook her head gently and said, you have to pay an entry fee to enter the city. I don't want to waste money, so I have never entered Raging Flame City. After hearing Wei Xue's words, Yang Feng cast his eyes on the guards at the east gate, and pointed at a guard casually and said, do you know where the medicine shop in the city is? After hearing Yang Feng's words and feeling the strong pressure emanating from him, the guard did not dare to hide anything, and hurriedly responded respectfully, Sir, there are a total of 120 medicine shops in Liyan City, and I know the location of each medicine shop. Very good. Take us to the largest medicine shop in the city. Yang Feng nodded gently, and said in a calm tone. Yes, sir. The guard responded respectfully, and walked in front, leading Yang Feng and Wei Xue. Which lord chose Li Qi? I don't know if it's good or bad. Whether it's good or bad depends on Li Qi's luck. I think that lord is quite kind, he shouldn't hurt Li Qi. How do you know that a lord who wants to kill someone is quite kind? Seeing Yang Feng and the other two walking away, the guards at the east gate began to discuss quietly. If you don't want to die, shut up. Which lord can you discuss? You want to die, but I don't. If anyone dares to discuss which lord, don't blame me for being cruel. Hearing the discussions of many guards, the guard commander who had just come down from the tower had a cold face and scolded in a cold tone. Hearing the scolding of the guard commander, the guards at the east gate shut their mouths and dared not discuss. Chapter 42 Zhao Family Business. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My son was killed. In a spacious and bright office at the headquarters of the Zhao Family Trading Company, a tall man in brocade clothes sat on a seat, looked at the servant kneeling on the bed, and asked with some disbelief. My eldest son, the eldest young master, was killed by a monk. The monk just swung his fist and blasted the eldest young master and his two Gangqi realm guards into pieces. The servant responded tremblingly. As a servant of my son, how can you have the face to live in this world even though my son is dead? After receiving the servant's affirmative answer, the tall man in brocade clothes stood up from his seat, walked slowly in front of the servant, said something softly, and kicked his neck, causing him to die tragically on the spot. After that, the big man in genie walked out of the office with an angry look on his face. Big, this elixir shop is the largest medicine shop in our blazing city. The elixir shop is here. Not only are there all kinds of medicinal materials, but there are also all kinds of miraculous medicines, which should be able to meet everyone's requirements. The guard pointed to an antique attic in front of him and introduced it to Yang Feng. I know. This is for you, you can go. Yang Feng glanced at the attic not far away, took out a gold ticket worth 100 taels of gold from the space ring, and handed it to the guard. Big brother, the servants of the Zhao Family Trading Company have sneaked back to the Zhao Family Trading Company. It won't be long before the Zhao family's guards and worshippers come to kill them. You have to be careful. The guard took the golden ticket, his eyes flashed, he whispered a reminder, and left quickly. After listening to the guard's words and watching his movements, Yang Feng smiled slightly and didn't take it to heart. He directly took Wei Xue's little hand and walked towards the elixir shop. Zhao Kuei's servants were deliberately let go by Yang Feng, because Yang Feng wanted to lure the snake out of the hole and let the Zhao family trading company come out to cause trouble for him. He could also take the opportunity to get rid of the Zhao family trading company to avoid leaving any future troubles. Doctor, please help me get 2 sets of medicine. After entering the elixir shop, Wei Xue carefully took out 2 prescriptions from her arms and handed them to the attending physician in the elixir shop. The medicines on these 2 prescriptions are valuable and cost 20 gold coins. Are you sure you want to grab them? The attending physician took the prescription, glanced at it casually, and said to Wei Xue. Doctor, this is a gold ticket worth 100 gold coins, which is enough to pay for 2 doses of medicine. Wei Xue took out a gold ticket from her pocket and handed it to the attending doctor. One air, get this young lady some medicine. The attending doctor took the golden ticket, checked it, and said to a clerk behind the counter. Afterwards, the attending doctor collected the gold tickets and gave Wei Xue a cloth bag containing 80 gold coins. Soon, the clerk grabbed the medicinal materials Wei Xue needed and handed them to Wei Xue. Wei Xue took 2 pieces of the antidote and walked out with a happy face. She was going to buy some food and then hurried home to boil the medicine for her mother. However, as soon as Wei Xue and Yang Feng came out of the elixir shop, a group of guards wearing fine armor, holding fine steel weapons, and exuding a strong evil spirit surrounded Wei Xue and Yang Feng. At this time, a mana realm monk wearing a robe and exuding strong mana fluctuations emerged from the crowd. Among them, the first mana realm monk pointed at Wei Xue and said to Yang Feng, "Boy, if you don't want her to die, come with us to the Zhao family trading firm. A dignified monk in the magic realm actually threatened me with the life of an ordinary person. He is simply the scum of a monk. I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. After 10 seconds, if you are still standing here, stay here forever." After listening to the words of the mana realm monk headed by Yang Feng said in a cold tone, "Boy, you are quite crazy. Today, I will let you try the feeling of life being worse than death, so you won't be so crazy." As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, the leader of the mana realm monk flashed a fierce light in his eyes, roared angrily, mobilized the mana in his body, activated a high-grade magic weapon long sword, and stabbed Yang Feng's body. At the same time, the other 2 magic realm monks also mobilized the magic power in their bodies and activated 2 long swords, low-grade magic weapons, to slash at Wei Xue's body. "You are looking for death." Seeing this scene, Yang Feng snorted coldly, and with a thought, a protective shield condensed in the void, covering Wei Xue's body and blocking the attacks of 2 low-grade magic weapons. After that, Yang Feng stretched out 2 fingers and pinched the pin magical instrument that was stabbing him. With a little force, he broke the pin magical instrument and made it fall on the ground with a crisp sound. Seeing Yang Feng's actions, the face of the mana realm monk changed drastically. Without any hesitation, he immediately mobilized the mana in his body, jumped into the air, and fled into the distance. He did not dare to continue fighting Yang Feng. "Want to run away? Did you run away?" Seeing the mana realm monk escaping into the distance, Yang Feng snorted coldly and mobilized the mana in his body, condensing a fire snake about a foot long and shooting towards the mana realm monk. Feeling the terrifying power contained in the fire snake, the faces of the monks in the magic realm changed greatly, and a look of fear flashed in their eyes. They quickly mobilized the mana in their bodies and used low-grade defensive magic weapons one after another to try to resist the fire snake. Attack! But the inferior defensive magic weapon they had sacrificed was easily destroyed by the fire snake as soon as it touched it, and turned into countless fragments, which fell on the street. Then, a fire snake about a foot long bombarded a mana realm cultivator. The hot flame power directly ignited the mana realm cultivator, turning him into a fire, emitting a series of shrill and miserable sounds, and finally turned into ashes and disappeared with the wind. At this time, Yang Feng cast his eyes on the elite guards who surrounded him and Wei Xue. A series of hot flames surged from their bodies, quickly covering the elite guards one by one and burning them into ashes. After that, Yang Feng took Wei Xue's little hand, moved his body, and soared into the air, suspended in the air, released his spiritual sense, and scanned the surroundings. Soon, Yang Feng found the location of the Zhao family business headquarters, and disappeared in a flash, speeding towards the Zhao family business headquarters. The Zhao family business has hit a wall this time, and it's going to be in big trouble. Looking at Yang Feng's figure speeding away, an old man in hemp clothes who had just come out of the spiritual medicine shop muttered softly with a flash of light in his eyes. After muttering for a while, the old man in hemp clothes went back to the spiritual medicine shop to work. Chapter 43 Treating Wei Xue's Parents. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you the owner of the Zhao family trading company, Zhao Sheng, the owner of the Zhao family? Yang Feng looked at the golden clothes in front of him and said in a calm tone. I am Zhao Sheng. Are you the one who killed my son Zhao Kue? Genie opened his eyes wide, stared at Yang Feng, and responded with an evil look on his face. That's right. I killed your son. Yang Feng responded with a calm tone. Then go to hell. After getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, Genie thought with a thought, and more than 10 talismans flew out from his space ring and smashed towards Yang Feng. Suddenly, I saw more than 10 talismans, shattering into pieces in the void. Attacks such as scorching rockets, fireballs, fire snakes, wind blades, sword ons, knife ons, and spear ons were fired from each talisman. It shot out, carrying terrifying power, and bombarded Yang Feng, trying to drown Yang Feng. Facing the attacks of numerous talismans, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged. With a thought, a stream of pure magic came out from his body, condensing into a large fiery red net that caught all the attacks of more than 10 talismans. Can't he move at all, let alone cause any damage to Yang Feng? Immediately afterwards, a stream of pure magic flew out of Yang Feng's body, turning into a fire snake, and flew to Genie, igniting his body, turning into a piece of fly ash, and disappeared with the wind. Then, Yang Feng waved his hand, and the Genie space ring flew to his hand and was taken into his arms. At the same time, the cakes, delicacies, and wine in Genie's room also rose into the sky and flew into Yang Feng's space. Ring. We have food, let's go to your house. After doing all this, Yang Feng said to Wei Xue. After saying that, Yang Feng took Wei Xue's little hand, activated the magic in his body, jumped into the air, made a stream of light, and flew towards the flame city. Master Feng, that thatched house is our home. Wei Xue was suspended 100 meters in the air, pointing to a thatched house in the distance, and said to Yang Feng. After hearing Wei Xue's words, Yang Feng moved and flew towards the thatched hut. Finally, Wei Xue carried 2 bags of medicine, walked quickly to the thatched house, and said loudly, Father, Mother, I'm back with medicine for you. Xiao Xue, why are you buying medicine? We know very well that our disease cannot be cured at all, and it is a complete waste of money. You have money to buy medicine, why not save it to buy food, or save it? As soon as Wei Xue finished her voice, a woman with a haggard face said with a face full of complaints. Xiao Xue, your mother is right. When you have money later, buy food or save it. Don't buy medicine for us. You save some food and money. After the 2 of us die, you can take your brother and survive. At this time, a man with a thin body and a sick face stood up from a shabby big bed and said. Father, Mother, it's not that your 2 illnesses are incurable, why do you want to give up treatment? If it's because you're worried about money, you can rest assured now, because I now have money. After hearing what her parents said, Wei Xue quickly took out the cloth bag with 80 gold coins from her arms and handed it to her parents. Wei Xue, where did you get these gold coins? Seeing that the cloth bag was worth 80 gold coins, Wei Xue's parents' expressions changed greatly, and they quickly raised their voices and asked. These gold coins are the money I earned from selling straw sandals. Wei Xue responded softly. Those straw sandals you made can be sold for more than 10 silver coins at most. How can you earn so many gold coins? Xiao Xue, tell me, did you do something stupid? Wei Xue's father frowned slightly and asked with worry on his face. Uncle, aunt, don't worry, Wei Xue didn't do anything stupid. These gold coins are all the money I paid for buying straw sandals. They come from a very legitimate source and there are no troubles or hidden dangers. At this time, Yang Feng slowly entered the thatched house and said to Wei Xue's parents with a smile on his face. Father, Mother, this is Master Feng. Seeing Yang Feng come in, Wei Xue immediately introduced Yang Feng to his parents and told the story of Yang Feng saving his life in detail. Master Feng, thank you for saving Xiaoxue's life. I am willing to work as a cow or horse for you in the next life to repay your kindness. After listening to Wei Xue's words, Wei Xue's father immediately thanked Yang Feng and wanted to stand up and kneel down to Yang Feng. Seeing this, Yang Feng immediately stretched out his hand to stop Wei Xue's father from kneeling, and said softly, "Uncle, you don't have to be so polite. If you do this, you will offend me too much. Actually, I received the inheritance from the ancestors of the Wei family and can sense the blood aura of the Wei family. When I was entering the city, I sensed the aura of Wei family blood on Wei Xue, so I took action to save him. I have obtained the inheritance from the ancestors of the Wei family, so I have some relationship with the Wei family. The affairs of your Wei family are my affairs. I can't let you have a long life, but I can let you live a long life and enjoy a lifetime of glory. Now, let me treat the injuries on both of you and restore your health." After saying that, Yang Feng thought in his mind, and streams of pure magic came out of his body and penetrated into the body of Wei Xue's parents, eliminating the diseased cells in the flesh and blood of Wei Xue's parents. Soon, Yang Feng activated the method to clean out the diseased cells in Wei Xue's parents' bodies, and Wei Xue's parents' faces showed a rosy complexion. "Uncle, aunt, you have recovered from your illness. You need to take a few medicines to recuperate your body, and then you will be back to your original state." Yang Feng put away the release method and said to Wei Xue's parents with a smile on his face, "Father, mother, I'm going to make medicine for you right now." After hearing Yang Feng's words and seeing the rosy colors on his parents' faces, Wei Xuexin was overjoyed, and quickly took the potion and walked to the kitchen. After Wei Xue left, Yang Feng glanced at the year-old child sleeping on the bed, and started chatting with Wei Xue's parents. While Yang Feng was chatting with Wei Xue's parents, deep in a compound covering an area of 1,000 acres in Liyan City, there was a spacious and bright study room. A man in brocade clothes put down his book, looked at the man in black kneeling below and said, "How is the investigation going?" This man in brocade clothes is the master behind the Zhao family trading company, Li Han, the 8th prince of the Flame Kingdom. The man in black is the intelligence chief under Li Han. As soon as Li Han finished his voice, the man in black said in a respectful tone, "Your Majesty, the monk who killed Zhao Sheng is Yang Feng, an inner disciple of the Xiantian sect and a registered disciple of the Xiantian sect's leader. Yang Feng had a conflict with Zhao Kui, the eldest son of Zhao family trading company, at the east gate of Raging Flame City." After listening to the report of the man in black, Li Han frowned slightly and said with an evil look on his face, "Zhao Sheng actually gave birth to a useless son like Zhao Kui. He deserves to die. You lead people to kill the entire Zhao family, leaving no one behind. At the same time, you have people sort out all the money and property of the Zhao family trading company, put it into a book, and give it to me." "Yes, Your Majesty." The man in black responded respectfully, got up and walked to the study. "Yang Feng is a great god. He must not make enemies. Otherwise, let alone plotting for the throne, it would be good if he can save his life." After the man in black left, Li Han sighed helplessly, got up and left the study. Chapter 44, Apology. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few miles away from Liyan City, on a country road, a large-scale team moved forward in the direction of Lingjia village. In the middle of the team, the curtain of a luxury carriage was opened, and Li Han's head stuck out of the window. At this time, the guard commander who was guarding one side of the carriage immediately rode his horse and approached Li Han, waiting for Li Han's instructions. "How long until we reach Lingjia village?" Li Han glanced at the wheat fields on the roadside and asked the commander of the personal guards. "Your Majesty, there is still a quarter of an hour before the convoy can reach Lingjia village," the guard commander responded without hesitation. "Call me when you get to Lingjia village." Li Han nodded and gave instructions softly. "Yes, Your Majesty," the commander of the personal guards responded respectfully. After that, Li Han closed the car curtain and closed his eyes to rest. Soon, a quarter of an hour passed, and a huge motorcade arrived in Lingjia village. What a huge convoy! Why did such a huge convoy come to our Lingjia village? This huge motorcade should be the honor guard of the 8th prince. Why did the 8th prince's honor guard come to our Lin village? That the huge convoy immediately attracted the attention of countless villagers in Linjia village. They hid in the distance, pointed at the convoy, and talked about it. At this time, Li Han, who was commanded by his bodyguard, got off the luxury carriage, glanced at the villagers pointing in the distance, and asked the convoy members to wait where they were. He took the commander of his bodyguard alone and walked to Wei Xue's house. Li Han's actions immediately attracted the attention of the villagers in Linjia village. Some courageous children and young people hung far behind Li Han, wanting to see where Li Han was going. Seeing this scene, Li Han's expression did not change. He ignored the children and young people and walked straight to Wei Xue's house. Soon, Li Han led his guards to the outside of Wei Xue's house. He took a step forward and shouted loudly, "Li Han of the Fiery Flame Dynasty, come to see young Master Yang." Hearing Li Han's shouting, Yang Feng, who was having dinner with Wei Xue's family, said hello to Wei Xue and his parents, got up and walked out of the thatched house. "8th Prince, what do you want from me?" Looking at Li Han, who was dressed in brocade clothes, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged and he spoke calmly. "Young Master Yang, I'm here to apologize to you. The Zhao Family Trading Company is an industry under my command. It is my fault that the Zhao Family Trading Company has offended you. I am deeply sorry. This is all the money and property of the Zhao Family Trading Company. Please accept it, Mr. Yang." Li Han took out a thick account from his arms and handed it to Yang Feng. Yang Feng took the account and quickly looked through it, and found that the Zhao Family Trading Company's money and industry were extremely huge. Among them, there are 12 million gold coins in the money, and the properties are spread all over the Flame Kingdom, with a value of far more than 12 million gold coins. In addition, there are more than 10,000 shop assistants, shopkeepers, servants, maids, guards and other personnel who live in Zhao's trading house, which is an extremely huge number. Of course, neither gold coins, nor property, nor the personnel under the Zhao Family Trading Company have any meaning to Yang Feng, but for Wei Xue and the Wei family, these are indeed an extremely rich wealth, which can allow the Wei family to live a life of rich clothing and food, and become the richest man in the Flame Kingdom. The things from the Zhao Family Trading Company are of no use to me, but they have a good effect on my good friend Wei Xue's family. So, I accept your apology. At this time, I hope you will send someone to help the Wei Xue family take over the property and industry of the Zhao family business, and send an elite guard team to follow the Wei family's dispatch. What do you think? Yang Feng put the account into the space ring and said to Li Han in front of him. Of course. Young Master Yang, don't worry, I will help you handle this matter properly. As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, Li Han felt happy and quickly raised his voice. Then we will return to Raging Flame City with you and take over the money and property of the Zhao Family Trading Company. After receiving Li Han's affirmative answer, Yang Feng smiled slightly, responded softly, returned to the thatched house, took Wei Xue's family out of the thatched house, and walked towards Li Han's motorcade parked in Linjia village. The 8th prince actually came to pick up Wei Xue's family. It's really shocking. What is the relationship between Wei Xue's family and the 8th prince? Wei Xue's family is going to be prosperous. Our Linjia village has a good relationship with the Wei Xue family. If the Wei Xue family becomes prosperous, maybe our Linjia village can also benefit from it. Seeing Wei Xue's family, following the 8th prince, walking towards the direction of the motorcade, the villagers of Linjia village in the distance showed expressions of surprise and started talking softly and voluntarily, their eyes full of excitement and anticipation. Soon, Yang Feng and his party boarded Li Han's carriage and galloped towards the Flame City. When the motorcade arrived at Li Han's palace, Yang Feng asked Wei Xue's parents and younger brother to rest in the palace, and then took Wei Xue with Li Han's personal company to begin orderly receiving the money from the Zhao family business. Industry. The Zhao family commercial bank has a lot of property and industry. It took a full week for Wei Xue to successfully take over the Zhao family commercial bank's wealth and industry. During this process, apart from staying with Wei Xue on the first day, Yang Feng stayed in Li Han's palace to practice and improve his own cultivation strength. When Wei Xue took over all the properties of the Zhao family business, Young Feng came out of the retreat and went to live in the former Zhao family compound with Wei Xue and his family, quietly waiting for the arrival of the king's birthday banquet. While Young Feng was quietly waiting for the king's birthday banquet, deep in the palace of Liyan Kingdom, there was an underground secret room. King Li of the Flame Kingdom looked at the old man in black robe who was resting in the secret room with his eyes closed, and said in a respectful tone, "Mr. Zheng, Young Feng has been very close to Laoba recently, and it is very likely that he will shake my throne. I hope you will enough to secretly kill Young Feng." Hearing Li Mo's words, the old man in black robe opened his closed eyes and said in a calm tone, "Young Feng is Xuanhuan Sect's peerless genius, and he is protected by Xuanhuan Sect. I don't dare to assassinate Young Feng. If you want to kill Young Feng, just let a monk of Yang Feng's level, or just one level higher than Young Feng, kill him. As the peerless genius of the Xuanhuan Sect, Young Feng can die in the hands of a monk who is one level above him or one level above him, but he cannot die in the hands of a monk who is two levels above Young Feng. Once a monk who has surpassed Yang Feng's two realms attacks Young Feng, the strong men of Xuanhuan Sect will definitely kill them as soon as possible. If I take action to kill Young Feng, I will definitely not survive for 3 days, and I will be killed by the strong men of Xuanhuan Sect. So, I will not assassinate Young Feng." Hearing the words of the old man in black robes, Li frowned slightly and said, "Mr. Zheng, Young Feng is extremely powerful, and his comprehensive combat power far exceeds that of a level monk. Not to mention the monks at the same level as Young Feng, even the monks who are one level higher than Young Feng will have a hard time killing him." Hearing Li's words, the old man in black robe thought for a while, took out a talisman from the space ring, handed it to Li and said, "This is the blood-burning talisman, which can burn the user's whole body blood, causing it to burst out times the attack power. However, the blood-burning talisman has a disadvantage, that is, once used, it cannot be stopped and the blood will be burned out." As soon as the black-robed old man finished speaking, Li quickly took the talisman and said with excitement on his face, "Thank you, Mr. Zheng, I know how to do it." After saying that, Li stood up and left the secret room. Chapter 45 Centenary Birthday Banquet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 8th Prince, His Majesty's 100th birthday party was quite lively. Yang Feng looked at the densely packed luxury carriages in the palace. Ministers and dignitaries wearing brocade clothes said to the 8th Prince Li Han with a smile on his face, "It's quite lively. His Majesty's 100th birthday banquet will not only be attended by the powerful ministers of our Kingdom of Flame, the disciples of the powerful family, but also the envoys and dignitaries from several countries surrounding our Kingdom of Flame. Besides this, all the sects in our fiery kingdom that have Dharma realm monks will send envoys to attend His Majesty's 100th birthday banquet." Looking at the lively scene in the palace, Li Han responded softly. While Young Feng and Li Han were talking, the luxury carriage the two of them were riding in passed directly past the many luxury carriages and drove straight into the palace, speeding toward the garden deep inside the palace where the banquet was held. Soon, the luxurious carriage Young Feng and Li Han rode arrived in the garden where the banquet was held. At this time, the banquet scene has been properly arranged. Countless ministers and dignitaries, disciples of the wealthy family, and sect envoys have arrived in advance, and under the leadership of the maid, they have sat down in their respective seats. Seeing Young Feng and Li Han getting off a carriage, the countless ministers and dignitaries at the banquet, disciples of the wealthy family, and sect envoys all changed their faces slightly, and started talking softly. The inner disciple of the Xuanhuan Sect, Young Feng, has such a good relationship with the 8th Prince. The 8th Prince Young Feng of Xuanhuan Sect rides in the same carriage together. When did their relationship become so close? Didn't you say that the 8th Prince Young Feng of the Xuanhuan Sect had a conflict? Why do the two of them not only have no conflict, but also have a very good relationship? Does Xuanhuan Sect Young Feng want to support the 8th Prince? The 8th Prince was originally very ambitious and tried to seek the throne. Now with the help of Xuanhuan Sect Young Feng, wouldn't it be even more powerful and increase his chances of winning? Amidst the soft discussions among the people at the banquet, Young Feng, led by the 8th Prince Li Han, and the palace maid, walked towards the two seats. The 8th princely Han held a high position, and his seat was arranged in the upper row on the side of the princes and nobles. Yang Feng represents the Xiantian sect, and his seat is directly assigned to the chief on the guest side. Soon after, all the guests at the banquet arrived. Li Yu, the king of the Flame Kingdom, dressed in brocade clothes, slowly came to the banquet seat and sat down, said hello to everyone, and announced the start of the banquet ceremony. After that, a tall, sexy, pretty-looking palace maid in gauze clothes walked to a table at the banquet site carrying plates of delicious food, plates of fresh fruits, and jars of fine wine. At the same time, a woman in palace attire slowly stepped onto the stage and began to perform a wonderful dance performance. Yang Feng sat cross-legged at the desk, picked up an apple, and ate it. He opened his eyes wide and looked towards the stage, admiring the wonderful performance of the woman in palace costume. These palace-dressed women are dancers trained by the Kingdom of Flame. They have practiced dancing since they were young, and have good cultivation skills. Their bodies are extremely flexible and can do various complex movements. When they dance, they are very graceful and beautiful. Far beyond those dances of Blue Star, although Yang Feng was pretty good, he had never seen a beautiful dance before. Suddenly, he was attracted by the wonderful dance on the stage. Seeing Yang Feng's eyes wide open, staring closely at the dancers on the stage, Li Yu, the king of the Flame Kingdom, who was sitting in the seat, a look of disdain flashed in his eyes, and he secretly said in his heart. In the following time, everyone chatted, ate and drank, and enjoyed the wonderful dance on the stage. In the middle of the banquet, Li Yu, who was sitting in the seat, felt that time was almost up, so he coughed lightly, attracting everyone's attention, pointed to a middle-aged man behind him, and said softly, "Everyone, this is the person I recently recruited from the royal family to worship Zhou Haitao. He has the cultivation ability of Yin-Yang Mirror and is proficient in various magic spells. His ability is extremely extraordinary. Zhou Haitai wants to see the strength of our monks from the Flame Kingdom, so that we, the monks from the Flame Kingdom, can discuss and exchange ideas. I just took a look, and of all the people present, only Xiantian Sect's disciple Yang Feng is the most similar to Zhou Haitao and the most suitable. I wonder if Yang Feng would like to compete with Zhou Haitao to help everyone enjoy themselves and make everyone happy." As soon as Li Yu finished speaking, everyone at the banquet was stunned and looked at Li Yu with incredible eyes. They really couldn't understand why Li Yu would provoke Yang Feng and Xiantian Sect in this way. Yang Feng is a high disciple of Xiantian Sect, and every move he makes represents Xiantian Sect. Yang Yu asked Yang Feng and Zhou Haitao to discuss and exchange ideas at the banquet to entertain everyone and make everyone happy. This was completely treating Yang Feng as an actor and provoking Yang Feng's majesty of Xiantian Sect. When everyone was stunned, Yang Feng's eyes flashed fiercely and he said in a calm tone, "Since His Majesty has spoken, I will discuss it with Zhou Haitao and let everyone have fun." After saying that, Yang Feng stood up, stirred up the magic in his body, soared into the air, and floated thousands of meters above the garden. After hearing Yang Feng's words, he saw Yang Feng's movement. Zhou Haitao, who was standing behind Li Yu, moved his body into the air at Li Yu's signal, floating 1,000 meters in the air. Yang Feng was 100 meters away. At this time, with a thought in Zhou Haitao's mind, a blood-colored jade talisman appeared in his palm. Under the infusion of his magic, it released streaks of bloody light and penetrated into his body. Immediately afterwards, the blood in Zhou Haitao's body began to burn, and his aura continued to surge. Waves of terrifying aura and pressure emitted from Zhou Haitao's body and spread to the surroundings. What's going on with Zhou Haitao? Why did he use a self-mutilating trick with just one move? Zhou Haitao is not talking about sparring. This is completely desperate. He wants Yang Feng to die together. What does Your Majesty want to do? Your Majesty is confused. Your Majesty, are you seeking death? Aren't you afraid of punishment from the Xiantian Sect? Seeing Zhou Haitao's movements and feeling the terrifying aura and pressure emanating from Zhou Haitao, many guests at the banquet changed their faces and exclaimed softly, their eyes filled with incredulity. Obviously, they couldn't understand Li Yu's behavior at all. Yang Feng is an inner disciple of Xiantian Sect. If Yang Feng dies in the palace of Liyan Kingdom, Li you will be severely punished by Xiantian Sect, window, _tabula equals window, _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target _type, mix. Chapter 46 Coup d'etat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fire Crow Sword. Looking at Zhou Haidao, who was hundreds of meters away, his blood was burning, and his whole body was soaring. A light flashed in Yang Feng's eyes, and with a light drink, the low-grade treasure Fire Crow Sword flew out from his body, turned into a stream of light, and shot toward Zhou Haidao. The body was chopped off and left. Low-grade treasure. Feeling the terrifying power contained in the Fire Crow Sword, Zhou Haidao's expression changed and he exclaimed involuntarily. Amidst the exclamations, Zhou Haidao quickly mobilized the magic power in his body, activated a long sword, a low-grade spiritual weapon, and stabbed Yang Feng quickly, bang. In the midst of a crisp sound, the Fire Crow Sword flashed, turned in a circle in mid-air, and landed on the low-grade spiritual weapon. The terrifying power instantly chopped the low-grade spiritual weapon into pieces, turning it into countless pieces. The fragments flew around. Immediately afterwards, the Fire Crow Sword, carrying the breath of scorching flames, streaked through the void like lightning. Under Zhou Haidao's horrified gaze, it easily penetrated his head, causing blood to spatter, and he died tragically on the spot. After that, the Fire Crow Sword released streams of hot flames, directly igniting Zhou Haidai's body, turning it into ashes and scattering downwards. At this time, Yang Feng glanced at Li, who was at the head of the banquet, coldly, and said in a cold tone, "Your Majesty, I am in good health, so I will leave first." After saying that, Yang Feng waited for Li Da's reaction, then moved and flew towards the palace. "Your Majesty, I am feeling well and will leave first." As soon as Yang Feng left, the 8th prince stood up, shouted, and walked towards the palace. "Your Majesty, I am feeling well and will leave first." "Your Majesty, I am feeling well and will leave first." "Your Majesty, I have a stomachache, so I'm leaving first." As soon as the 8th prince left, countless ministers, dignitaries, wealthy businessmen, and sect envoys stood up one after another, casually said an excuse, and turned around to walk towards the palace. These ministers and dignitaries, aristocratic families, wealthy businessmen, and sect envoys are all excellent people. Yang Feng killed Zhou Haidao with one sword and left in anger. He will definitely give up and take revenge on Li Mo. Yang Feng is a high disciple of Xiantian Sect, and it is a very easy thing to deal with Li. At the same time, the powerful 8th prince, who is on good terms with Yang Feng, will definitely take the opportunity to add fuel to the flames, making Yang Feng even more violent and cruel in his revenge on Li. The combination of Yang Feng's 8 princes and Li's can't resist it at all. Therefore, these ministers, dignitaries, aristocratic families, wealthy businessmen, and sect envoys all left the palace as soon as possible to express their attitude so as not to be involved in the upcoming storm. In a short time, half of the guests at the banquet left, leaving only some die-hardly, some petty officials, disciples of small families, and small businessmen. Seeing this scene, Li Da was sitting on the main seat with a scowl on his face. He looked at the half-empty desk, his eyes flashed, and with a cold snort, he stood up and walked towards the depths of the palace. Obviously, Li also realized that he had messed up the matter, and hurriedly prepared follow-up measures and strengthened security protection. As soon as Li left, the small businessmen, disciples of the small officials and small families who were loyal to Li at the banquet, quickly got up and walked towards the palace. Soon, what happened in the palace spread throughout the Raging Flames city. All the families, forces, and sects in Liyan City have gathered manpower to strengthen their defenses and wait for the situation to develop. For a moment, the entire Raging Flames city was shrouded in shadow. A terrifying atmosphere of the approaching war made the ordinary people and warriors of the Flames city understand the truth. They were frightened and dared to stay outside. They quickly returned home, closed the door tightly, and carefully observed the movements in the world. "Young Master Yang, Your Majesty went too far today. I apologize to you on behalf of the Flame Kingdom." The eighth Prince Li Han came to the Wei mansion and said to young Feng with an apologetic look on his face. Eighth Prince, do you want to be the king of the Flame Kingdom? After hearing Li Han's words, Yang Feng's expression changed and he asked in a calm tone. Young Master Yang, I want to be the king of the Flame Kingdom. I believe that as the king of the Flame Kingdom, I can develop the kingdom of flame better and let the people of the kingdom live a better life. Li Hanhao responded hesitantly. Eighth Prince, I can help you become the king of the Flame Kingdom, but I don't know if you can secure the throne of the Flame Kingdom. After all, I might have stayed in Raging Flame City for too long, and I might have been helping you suppress the conquerors. Yang Feng asked softly. Young Master Yang, my subordinates have little power. As long as you get rid of some of the monks in the Flame Kingdom, I can easily control the situation in the Flame Kingdom, Li Han said with excitement on his face. In that case, I'll give you an hour to prepare. In an hour, we will go to the palace and ask Li De to step down. After receiving Li Han's affirmative answer, Yang Feng said with a cold tone. Mr. Yang, Li Han responded excitedly, and hurriedly left the Wei mansion and prepared to go. An hour later, Li Han came to Wei mansion with more than 1,000 elite guards and monks, and said to Yang Feng, Young Master Yang, the city guards of Liyan City have fallen into my control, we only need to deal with the imperial guards and monks in the palace, and we can take control of the Flame City and the Kingdom of Flame. Then let's go. After hearing what Li Han said, Yang Feng nodded with satisfaction and took the lead in walking towards the palace. Yang Feng and his party walked towards the palace without any cover, not afraid of being seen by others, and even more afraid of being tipped off to Li. In fact, someone is also needed to inform Li. Because Li Han had known about Li Han's movements for a long time, and had set up a dragnet in the palace, waiting for Li Han's arrival. The eighth prince has taken action. I know whether he can defeat Li De, and I will be the new king. The eighth prince originally held a high position and controlled the small forces. Now with the support of Xiantian Sect's disciple Yang Feng, he can 100% defeat Li De and become the new king. Ah! Yang Feng, a high disciple of the Xiantian Sect, supports it. Li Han has a good chance of winning. Yes, if Li De dares to provoke Yang Feng, he should deal with Yang Feng. Li inherited the throne because he was the eldest son, and his own talents are not outstanding. If you provoke Yang Feng, he may act impulsively. Li Han is a disciple of the royal family. They are fighting among themselves. It would be better for us aristocratic families to join in. Who said that? Let's just wait for the results to come out. Seeing Li Han move, the disciples of the powerful families, wealthy merchants and sects in Liyan City gathered together, started talking softly, and sent out numerous spies to pay close attention to the dynamics of the palace. Soon, Yang Feng and his party arrived at the gate of the palace. At this time, the palace was enveloped by a giant formation. If you want to enter the palace, you must break through the giant formation. Do you need me to break the formation? Yang Feng looked at the formation that enveloped the palace, let go of his consciousness, and carefully sensed the formation. He found that the formation could withstand a full-strength strike from a Jindan monk, and it was extremely powerful, so he asked Li Han aside. Young Master Yang, I need you to take action for now. I can handle this formation. Li Han shook his head gently and said, after speaking, Li Han waved his hand, and a guard immediately took out a signal bomb from his arms and lit it. Boom! With a violent roar, signal flares bloomed in the sky, an extremely bright firework appeared in the void, clearly visible for miles around. Do it! Looking at the bright flames in the sky, Wu Ming, the deputy commander of the Imperial Guard, immediately gave orders to several of his confidants. Immediately afterwards, the Imperial Guard soldiers were divided into small teams and quickly rushed to each formation node, destroying the formation nodes and shrouding the palace. The formation instantly shattered and turned into little rays of light. Disappear into nothingness. At the same time, more than a dozen Imperial Guard soldiers guarding the palace gate took out their sharp swords from their waists and slashed them at their companions. In a matter of seconds, several guardsmen guarding the palace gate were beheaded. After that, more than one Imperial Guard took action and quickly opened the palace gate to welcome Li Han's army. Young Master Yang, let's go in. Seeing this scene, Li Han smiled slightly, said hello to Yang Feng, and took the lead in walking towards the palace. Hearing Li Han's words, Yang Feng smiled slightly and followed Li Han towards the palace. During the next trip, Yang Feng took action, and all the imperial guards along the way surrendered directly, and were killed by Li Han's captive bodyguards. Soon, Li Han and his party arrived at the palace square deep inside the palace. At this time, Li, with more than 100 royal ministers, stood quietly on the palace square, waiting for the arrival of Li Han and his entourage. Eighth brother, you usually do a lot of things. In just 1 hour, you took control of the Flame City Guards. It's really amazing and incredible. Yes, in this world, if there are many people, there will be strength. Although the city guards' royal guards are strong in strength, they are far inferior to our royal family's offerings. As long as our royal family worships me and is willing to support me, even if you control the city guard and the imperial guard, you will not have any trouble, and you will only die. Seeing Li Han and his party coming, Li immediately took a step forward and said in a tone of that he had a chance to win. Your Majesty, if you provoke Yang Feng and young master today, I will not dare to invade the palace even if I control the city guards and imperial guards. But you are extremely stupid. You are provoking Yang Feng, young master, and even Xuanhuan sect. You are simply asking for death. You can ask the royal family behind you to find out how many people are willing to support you, who are willing to make young master Yang your enemy, and who are willing to make Xuanhuan sect your enemy. Our royal family enshrines you, is here to protect the safety of our royal family, the Flame Kingdom, but will be your thug. We, the royal family, all insist on our own beliefs. I will definitely follow you and do some stupid things. I definitely want to sacrifice my precious life because of your stupidity. After hearing what Li said, Li Han took a step forward and said in a calm tone. After saying that, Li Han motioned to Yang Feng with his eyes and asked Yang Feng to say a few words. Seeing Li Han's eyes, Yang Feng immediately took a step forward, glanced at the more than 100 royal ministers with sharp eyes, and said in a calm tone, Everyone, Li Han provoked me in public, provoked the Xuanhuan sect, and deserved death. If you want to bury Li with him, you'd better stay away from Li and support the 8th prince as the king of the Flame Kingdom. As he spoke, Yang Feng's mind moved, and the lower-grade treasure Fire Crow's sword flew out from his body, hovering above the palace square, releasing a series of scorching flames, condensing into a number of fire crows about a foot long. In a moment, the Fire Crow's sword released a full 10,000 fire crows, and formed a fire crow formation. A wave of overwhelming momentum emanated from it, which frightened more than 100 royal worshippers on the palace square. Li provoked young Master Yang and Xuanhuan sect, and he is indeed suitable to be the king of the Flame Kingdom. Young Master Yang is right. I support the 8th prince as the new king of the Flame Kingdom. Li is just a stupid guy, he is not qualified to continue to be the king of the Flame Kingdom. I support young Master Yang's decision. Feeling the terrifying aura coming from the fire crows, more than 100 royal priests on the palace square changed their faces, and hurriedly expressed their loyalty to Yang Feng, and quickly moved away from Li. In a moment, more than 100 royal priests behind Li ran away, leaving only Li standing there alone. Seeing this, Li Han's eyes flashed, and with a wave of his hand, a cultivator in the mana realm mobilized the mana in his body and urged a top-grade magic sword to pierce Li's head, causing blood to splatter, and he died tragically on the spot. Chapter 47 Treasure Map. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The royal palace of the Flame Kingdom. Li Han, dressed in royal robes, sat on the throne. An old eunuch held a scroll, stepped forward, and read in a sharp voice. Consecrate Yang De as the king of Zhenan, and all the land within a radius of 3,000 miles of Xiaoguang city will be under the command of the king of Zhenan. Wei Xue is canonized as Tapinghao, and all the land within a 30-mile radius of Lingjia village will be assigned to Tapinghao. After the old eunuch finished reading, Li Han got up and left the palace and came to a side hall of the palace. Young Master Yang, this is the treasure map I found in the royal treasury. I give it to you as a token of my gratitude. When Li Han saw Yang Feng in the side hall of the palace, he immediately took an ancient animal skin scroll from the space ring and handed it to Yang Feng. Thank you, Your Majesty. I am going back to the sect to practice. If your majesty needs my help with anything, you can send someone to Xuan's sect to find me. At the same time, I hope you will take care of the Wei family for me and keep the Wei family prosperous forever. Yang Feng took the animal skin scroll, glanced at it casually, and put it into the center of the space ring. At this time, a week had passed since Li Han invaded the palace and killed Li Yu. During this week, Yang Feng has been staying at Wei Xue's home, recuperating the health of Wei Xue's parents, and teaching Wei Xue some martial arts skills to shock the wealthy families in the Flame City. Yang Feng believes that as long as he does not die, the wealthy families in Lian City will not only not deal with Wei Xue's family, but will also take the initiative to befriend the Wei Xue family, allowing the Wei Xue family to gain a firm foothold in Lian City, become a new aristocratic family, and enjoy the secular world of glory and wealth. When Li Han formally canonized Wei Xue's father, Wei Changshu, as Tapinghao in the imperial palace, 99% of the inner demons Yang Feng had sworn were instantly dissipated. The remaining few inner demons were unable to cause too much damage to Yang Feng. The impact, after 100 years, some of Yang Feng's inner demons will completely disappear and will no longer be able to have any impact on Yang Feng. Young Master Yang, don't worry, I will take good care of the Wei family. After hearing Yang Feng's words, Li Han responded respectfully. After receiving Li Han's affirmative answer, Yang Feng nodded slightly, left the side hall of the palace, rose into the air, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards Xuanhuan City. While flying in the air, Yang Feng thought, and the treasure map appeared in his palm, and he let go of his consciousness and observed it carefully. The treasure spot recorded on the treasure map is not too far from Raging Flame City. It is only more than 30,000 miles away. I can go to the treasure spot first and then return to Xuanhuan City. After carefully observing the treasure map, Yang Feng's heart moved. He murmured softly, turned around, and flew towards the treasure spot recorded on the treasure map. In order to save time, Yang Feng directly took the low-grade treasure Fire Crow sword, used the sword control technique, and galloped towards the treasure spot on the Fire Crow sword. Suddenly, Yang Feng's flying speed increased by more than 10 times. In the evening, Yang Feng crossed a distance of more than 30,000 miles and came to the sky above a lush mountain peak. At this time, Yang Feng did not immediately descend to the mountain peak to search for treasure. Instead, he sat cross-legged on the Fire Crow sword, took a level magic pill, used the Fire God art, absorbed the energy in the level magic pill, and condensed it. Mana, replenished the mana consumed in the body. After all, flying at high intensity for a while consumed a lot of Yang Feng's mana. If it weren't for Yang Feng's consciousness being 100,000 times that of a monk of the same level, and his mana reserve being tens of thousands of times that of a monk of the same level, his mana would have been exhausted long ago. In order to ensure the safety of the expedition, Yang Feng planned to replenish the consumed mana, restore it to its peak state, and then explore the treasure spot. Soon, Yang Feng refined 3-level magical elixirs. With the help of the 10000-fold return system of cultivation effects, he successfully replenished the mana consumed in his body, with a slight increase. At this time, with a thought in Yang Feng's mind, he stepped on the Fire Crow sword and flew down into the lush mountain peaks. Roar! 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 Yang Feng had just landed on a mountain peak when angry roars of beasts sounded from the mountain peak. Level 3 ferocious beasts surged out of the lair one after another, and pounced on Yang Feng with their teeth and claws open. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng's expression did not change, and with a thought, the magic power in his body penetrated through his body, condensing fire snakes, and made them pounce on the 3rd-level ferocious beasts, igniting their bodies and burning them to ashes. Gone by the wind, in a matter of seconds, hundreds of 3rd-level ferocious beasts on the mountain were all burned to ashes by the scorching fire snakes. Immediately afterwards, Yang Feng flew down to the mountain peak, held the Fire Crow's sword in his hand, let go of his consciousness, and carefully searched for traces of the treasure spot. However, what makes Yang Feng helpless is that no matter how he searches with his spiritual consciousness, he cannot find the treasure spot. This place is not too far from Raging Flame City. If the treasure spot was easy to find, the treasure here would have been taken away by the royal family of the Raging Flame Kingdom. After a long time, Yang Feng put away his consciousness, sighed softly, and was about to give up the search and leave the mountain. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, crisp sounds of breaking through the air sounded from the top of the mountain. Monk exuding strong aura flew down from the top of the mountain. Soon, a Mana Realm monk and a Yin and Yang Realm monk surrounded Yang Feng, with mana surging all over their bodies, ready to launch a fierce attack on Yang Feng at any time. Who are you? What are you doing here? That the Yin Yang Mirror monk who was in the lead took a step forward and asked Yang Feng with a murderous look on his face. I have a treasure map in my hand, I came here to look for treasure. Yang Feng's mind moved, and he took out the treasure map from the space ring and shook it to the Yin Yang Mirror monk. As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, the faces of the 6 monks changed, and their eyes looking at Yang Feng were full of cold murderous intent. Son, I thought you were just passing by here, and I wanted to let you go. But since you are here to look for treasure, then we can only say sorry and leave you here forever. Let's work together and kill him. That the Yin Yang Mirror monk who was in the lead thought for a while, and then a fierce light flashed in his eyes, and he shouted loudly. Then, the Yin Yang Mirror monk urged a medium-grade magic sword and took the lead in launching a fierce attack on Yang Feng. The other 100 Mana Realm monks also mobilized their mana and urged the low-grade magic swords to cut down Yang Feng. Facing the attacks of the 6 monks, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged, and he swung the Fire Crow sword in his hand to meet the 6 magic swords. Bang! 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 Amidst the crisp sounds, the Fire Crow sword in Yang Feng's hand, with its sharp edge, easily cut off the 6 magic swords. Immediately afterwards, sharp sword lights shot out from the Fire Crow sword, easily piercing the bodies of the 6 monks, causing them to scream miserably and fall powerlessly, becoming lambs to be slaughtered. At this time, Yang Feng moved and approached the Yin Yang Mirror monk. He made a claw with his right hand and grabbed the Yin Yang Mirror monk's head, performing the soul-searching secret technique to search for information about the treasure hiding place. Chapter 48 Mysterious Token. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why can't I find the treasure? It turns out I'm missing a key. After getting the information he wanted, Yang Feng muttered softly, and with a little force on his right hand, he broke the neck of the Yin Yang Mirror monk. Then, Yang Feng's mind moved, and pure mana came out of his body, condensed into fire snakes, and pounced on the 6 monks, igniting their bodies, burning them into ashes, and scattering them on the ground. After that, Yang Feng waved his hand, and the space rings of the 6 monks soared into the air and fell into Yang Feng's palm. Soon, Yang Feng found a key from a space ring, mobilized the mana in his body, and poured it into it, causing it to emit a faint light, soaring into the air, and floating above the mountain. At this time, Yang Feng released his consciousness and carefully observed the state of the mountain with the key. Boom! Accompanied by a violent roar, the golden key suspended above the mountain peak turned into a dazzling stream of light, fiercely hitting a corner of the mountain peak, smashing it, revealing an old cave. Seeing this, Yang Feng moved and flew towards the old cave. However, just as Yang Feng flew to the entrance of the old cave, 2 battle puppets about 10 meters tall, wearing golden armor and holding golden spears, walked out of the old cave, waving the golden spears in their hands and stabbing at Yang Feng. The aura of the golden puppet was extremely powerful, and the golden spear in his hand was like a golden dragon, flashing through the void like lightning, and before Yang Feng could react, it fiercely stabbed Yang Feng's chest. Bang! 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 Amidst the crisp metal collision sounds, Yang Feng's body was thrown backwards like a kite with a broken string, and fell heavily to the ground, smashing a big hole in the hard stone. Fuck! Fortunately, I have the protection of the top-grade treasure Xianjin armor, otherwise these 2 shots would have taken my life. Looking down at the 2 bullet holes on his chest, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with fear, and he couldn't help but exclaimed. When Yang Feng exclaimed, the 2 golden puppets moved, turned into 2 golden streams of light, waved the golden spears in their hands, and stabbed at Yang Feng's head, as if they would not stop until Yang Feng was killed. Facing the attack of Yang's 2 golden spears, Yang Feng did not dare to neglect it, and hurriedly urged the lower-grade treasure Fire Crow sword to turn it into a stream of light to meet the golden spears. However, to Yang Feng's disappointment, the Fire Crow sword just collided with the golden spear and was knocked away by the terrifying power contained in the golden spear, and could not stop the attack of the golden spear at all. Seeing this, Young Feng did not hesitate at all and immediately shouted loudly. Suzaku sword. Then, the inferior Taoist Suzaku sword flew out of Yang Feng's sea of consciousness, turned into a red light, and went straight to meet the two golden spears, easily flying the two golden spears. Afterwards, the inferior Taoist Suzaku sword flashed red light and turned into a lightning, easily piercing the chests of the two golden puppets, making them stand still in place for a moment, no longer moving. Master, these two golden puppets have the combat power of Xuanhuan realm cultivators, and they are very valuable. I did not destroy them, but destroyed their energy cores. You just need to replace their energy cores, and then change the control program of the energy cores, and then reactivate them, so that they can serve you and fight for you. At this time, the weapon spirit Suzaku of the lower grade Taoist weapon Suzaku's sword handed over to Yang Feng, and turned into a stream of light and entered Yang Feng's sea of consciousness. Hearing the words of the weapon spirit Suzaku, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with excitement, and he quickly walked to the front of the golden puppets, carefully touched the bodies of the two golden puppets, checked the damaged energy cores on the chests of the golden puppets, and put them into the cave beads. At the same time, Yang Feng was going to return to Xuanzong, study the knowledge of refining arrays, remake two energy cores, change the program of the energy cores, reactivate the two golden puppets, and let himself have two combat puppets in the Xuanhuan realm. Yang Feng has a system that returns the effect of cultivation 10,000 times. As long as he studies hard, he will soon raise the knowledge of refining arrays to a very high level and easily refine energy cores. As his mind turned, Yang Feng held the fire crow sword and walked carefully towards the old cave. Soon, Yang Feng came to the depths of the old cave, and a space of thousands of square meters entered his field of vision. At this time, the huge space was empty, except for a withered skeleton. There was no item. Yang Feng released his spiritual sense, carefully searched the space, and then slowly walked towards the direction of the withered skeleton. Senior, you are already dead. The space ring is useless. Give it to me as a reward for burying you. Yang Feng looked at the space ring under the dry bones, muttered softly, waved the fire crow sword in his hand, dug a big pit next to the dry bones, buried the dry bones in it, then picked up the space ring, released his consciousness, and checked the items in it. 12 silver puppets in the nascent soul realm, 36 bronze puppets in the golden core realm, and 108 black iron puppets in the divine ability realm. 180 million low-grade spirit stones, 30 million medium-grade spirit stones, 1 million high-grade spirit stones, 3,000 top-grade spirit stones, and 15 magic crystals, 0.12 jade slips for martial arts, 360 jade slips for magical powers, 36 jade slips for refining weapons, 8 jade slips for formations, 820 jade slips for puppet techniques, and 1 mysterious token. Seeing the items in the space ring, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with excitement, and he couldn't help but murmured, his face full of excitement, with so many spiritual stones and other resources. After Yang Feng returned to the Xuan sect, he practiced with peace of mind until he reached the realm of law. After becoming the deputy master of the Xuan sect, he went out to practice again. After all, the main reason why Xuanzong disciples go out to practice is to obtain training resources, and the second reason is to hone themselves. Since he has enough training resources, why doesn't Yang Feng practice well in his sect and go out to experience adventures? After muttering excitedly, Yang Feng transferred all the items in the space ring to the cave bead, took out the mysterious token, and observed it carefully. The mysterious token was made from a material that Yang Feng didn't know about. It looked very high-end. There were countless formations engraved in it. At first glance, he knew it was not a high-quality product. Yang Feng observed the mysterious token in his hand for a long time, and was surprised to find that the material of the mysterious token was excellent, even better than the material of the low-grade Taoist Suzaku sword, which shocked Yang Feng. However, Yang Feng has been unable to find the use of the mysterious token, so he took into the cave pearl, left the old cave house, and sped away in the direction of Xuanhuan City. Warm reminder: if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 49: Return to the Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Feng, didn't you say you were going to attend His Majesty the King's birthday party? Why did the 8th prince get involved and help the 8th prince ascend the throne? Yang Feng had just returned home, and Yang De asked involuntarily, with a look of worry on his face. Father, I was originally going to attend His Majesty the King's birthday party. Who knew? Seeing the worried look on Yang De's face, Yang Feng shook his head helplessly and briefly recounted what happened in Liyan City. Hearing Yang Feng's words, Yang De said with an angry face, Li Yu actually tried to murder you, and he deserves to die. Father, I will return to Xiantian's sect tomorrow. I don't know when I will come back. This space ring contains a large amount of cultivation resources, which is enough for you and my mother to use. Please keep it. There are 2 silver puppets at the nascent soul realm and 12 bronze puppets at the golden core realm. Your mother will recognize them one by one. The space ring is a cultivation resource. Your mother can use it as she pleases. If it's not enough, tell me and I'll send it to you again. You should carry these silver puppets and bronze puppets with you to protect your safety. Seeing the evil look on Yang De's face, Yang Feng smiled slightly, took out the space ring battle puppet that had been prepared from the caved Z bead and said. Xiao Feng, your mother has collected these things. You are alone outside, so you must protect yourself. If you are wronged outside and have an unsatisfactory life outside, come back and our home will always be your warm haven. After hearing Yang Feng's words, Yang De took the space ring and said to Yang Feng solemnly. Afterwards, Yang Feng, Yang De and Zhao Xia talked for a while, then returned to his room and practiced Shantian Ju silently. In the early morning of the next morning, Yang Feng said goodbye to his parents, drove a high-grade treasure flying boat, took more than a dozen Yang family disciples, and flew away in the direction of Shantian's sect. Not long after, Yang Feng drove the high-grade treasure flying boat to the sky above Shantian City and landed outside the Internal Affairs Hall of Shantian City. Isn't that Yang Feng? Yang Feng is back. It has been less than a year since Yang Feng joined our Shantian sect. He was promoted to an inner disciple and was even accepted as a registered disciple by the sect leader. He is so envious. Yang Feng has outstanding talents and outstanding achievements, which cannot be compared with ordinary people. We ordinary people can only envy him. Those around Yang Feng must be disciples of the Yang family in Xuanhuan City. As the saying goes, Yang Feng became the registered disciple of the sect leader Da in one day. His status is high, and the status of his family's disciples has also increased. There is no need for assessment, and he can easily join our Shantian sect. Looking at Yang Feng and his entourage, many outer disciples outside Shantian City's Internal Affairs Hall started talking softly, their eyes filled with envy and jealousy. Yang Feng ignored the comments from the surrounding outer sect disciples, and instead took more than a dozen Yang family disciples into the Shantian City Internal Affairs Hall to handle the procedures for the outer sect disciples and handyman disciples. With the cooperation of the deacons of Shantian City's Internal Affairs Hall, more than a dozen disciples of the Yang family quickly completed the procedures for becoming outer disciples and handyman disciples. After that, Yang Feng released the high-grade treasure flying boat and took more than a dozen disciples of the Yang family, speeding towards the direction of the Internal Affairs Hall deep in the Shantian Mountains. However, what Yang Feng didn't expect was that the high-grade treasure flying boat he was driving had just flown into the Shantian Mountains when it was blocked by an inner disciple. Yang Feng, I am Qin Guangming, an inner disciple of Shantian sect. I want to challenge you. Do you dare to fight me? The inner disciple released a powerful aura of a heavenly monk and shouted loudly to Yang Feng. Senior brother Qin, you, a veteran inner disciple of the heaven realm, are you going too far by challenging me, Yin Yang realm monk who has just been promoted to an inner disciple? Looking at Qin Guangming blocking the road, Yang Feng frowned slightly, moved his figure, flew out of the high-grade treasure flying boat, and said in a calm tone. Yang Feng, although my cultivation strength is a little higher than yours, we are both inner disciples and have the same status. How can we talk about it? Of course, if you don't dare to challenge, then forget it. However, from now on, don't say that you are our Shantian sect's most talented person. After all, how could our Xiantian sect's most talented genius not be able to fight across the ranks? After hearing Yang Feng's words, Qin Guangming's expression remained unchanged and he spoke in a mocking tone. Qin Guangming, I call you senior brother to give you face. Since you are shameless, don't blame me for being rude. I accept your challenge. As soon as Qin Guangming finished speaking, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with cold light and he said in a cold tone. After saying that, Yang Feng activated the Fire Crow sword, a top-grade treasure weapon, and released each Fire Crow, forming a Fire Crow array of 100,000 Fire Crows, bombarding Qin Guangming's body. Facing the Fire Crow formation composed of 100,000 Fire Crows, Qin Guangming's expression remained unchanged. He turned his palm and a high-grade treasure sword appeared in his palm. As he waved it, he released a series of sharp golden sword lights greeted the Fire Crow formation, boom. 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 Amidst the fierce roars, the Fire Crow formation was destroyed, and each Fire Crow was defeated by the sharp golden sword light, turning into dots of red light and disappearing into thin air. In a moment, 100,000 Fire Crows were all defeated, and the sharp golden sword light continued to slash towards Yang Feng. Top-grade treasure sword. Is this your confidence to challenge me? Seeing the Fire Crow formation composed of 100,000 Fire Crows being defeated by the golden sword light, Yang Feng's expression did not change. He snorted coldly and communicated with the Suzaku sword, a high-grade Taoist weapon in his sea of consciousness, to make the Suzaku's sword take action. Suddenly, a sharp red light flew out from Yang Feng's sea of consciousness, streaking through the void like lightning, shattering the sharp sword lights. Then, the remaining red light pierced Qin Guangming's arm, causing him to let out a sharp wail. The top-grade treasure sword in his hand fell and was caught by Yang Feng's condensed magic hand and sent into the cave sky bead. At this time, Yang Feng moved his body and approached Qin Guangming's side. He stretched out his right hand, pinched his neck, and said in a cold tone, I don't care who is behind you. If you dare to provoke me again in the future, I will kill you directly. After speaking, Yang Feng released his right hand, made a fist with his left hand, and hit Qin Guangming's stomach fiercely, causing him to spit out a large mouthful of bright red blood and fly backwards. Afterwards, Yang Feng flashed and returned to the top-grade treasure flying boat. He drove the top-grade treasure flying boat and continued to fly towards the Internal Affairs Hall deep in the Xiantian Mountains. Chapter 50 The Mysterious Tokens Movement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 50 The Mysterious Token Changes. During the next trip, no one jumped out to challenge Yang Feng, allowing Yang Feng to easily receive the Vulcan Peak formation key from the Internal Affairs Hall and fly towards the Vulcan Peak. Is this the Vulcan Peak? It's so beautiful. It's so rich in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. The speed of practicing here is definitely much faster than practicing in the family. There are so many spiritual fields. With so many spiritual fields, there should be many spiritual things planted. With so many majestic palaces, how many people can live there? Are these all servants of Brother Feng? Their body aura is so powerful, every one of them is stronger than me, that when Yang Feng used the formation key to restrict the Fire God Peak and entered the inside of the Fire God Peak, more than 100 Yang family brothers screamed loudly, their eyes full of excitement. Yang Feng saw the palace complex stretching inside the Vulcan Peak, as many as 1,000 acres of spiritual fields, and all kinds of rare and exotic animals were kept in captivity. When he felt the rich aura of heaven and earth from the Vulcan Peak, flashes of light flashed in his eyes. A look of satisfaction. While observing the internal situation of Vulcan Peak, Yang Feng controlled the high-grade treasure flying boat and landed in the square in front of a palace. He asked more than 100 Yang family brothers to get off the treasure flying boat and then put the treasure flying boat into the space ring. I have seen, and will enjoy immortal blessings forever, and his lifespan will be as long as the heavens. At this time, more than 100 slaves knelt in front of Yang Feng and shouted in unison. Among these more than 100 slaves are the outer disciples of the Gang Qi realm, and the others are the servant disciples of the true Qi realm and the true Yuan realm. They are the servants assigned to Yang Feng by the Internal Affairs Hall of the Xiantian Mountains according to the treatment of the true disciples. Driven by Yang Feng, life and death are controlled by Yang Feng's palms. Everyone get up. As long as you work hard, I promise I will treat you badly. Who among you is the leader? Come forward and introduce yourself. Looking at the hundreds of slaves kneeling in front of him, Yang Feng said in a calm tone. I am Geng Xiaoli, the Deputy General Manager of the Internal Affairs of Vulcan Peak appointed by the House of Internal Affairs. I am 28 years old. I have a solid cultivation level in the early stage of Gangxi realm. I am proficient in planting and breeding skills. I am responsible for the management of 150 people on Vulcan Peak. Servant. As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, a tall, sexy and beautiful woman with a seductive aura came out and said to Yang Feng with a respectful look on her face. Geng Xiaoli, from now on, you are the Internal Affairs Manager of Vulcan Peak, taking charge of all internal affairs of Vulcan Peak. Looking at the outstanding-looking woman in front of him, Yang Feng pondered for a moment and said loudly. Thank you for your trust, I am willing to die for you. Geng Xiaoli immediately knelt on the ground and loudly expressed her loyalty to Yang Feng. Get up. I need you to serve me. All I need is to help me manage Vulcan Peak and let some chores disturb my practice. That's it. Looking at Geng Xiaoli who was kneeling on the ground and loudly expressing her loyalty to him, Yang Feng said in a calm tone. Yang Tian, I appoint you as the Deputy General Manager of Vulcan Peak, specifically to manage our Yang family brothers. I need you to do any chores. I just need you to practice hard and improve your cultivation. That's it. After 1 year, I will examine your cultivation level. All brothers who have not been promoted to the true Qi realm will be sent back to the Yang family in Xiaoguang City. All brothers who have cultivated to the realm of true energy, I recommend them as outer disciples of Xiantian's sect, and have the opportunity to climb up. After seeing Geng Xiaoli getting up, Yang Feng turned his eyes to the side, Yang Tian and Yang's younger brother, and said in a calm tone. Brother Feng, don't worry, I will definitely urge our Yang family brothers to practice well. As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, Yang Tian hurriedly reassured loudly. After receiving Yang Tian's assurance, Yang Feng nodded gently, waved his hand, and a bottle of Xuanhuan Dan flew out from his space ring, towards Yang Tian, the Yang family brother, and 101 slaves. The body flew away. Thank you for the reward from Brother Feng. Thank you for the reward. After receiving the Xuanhuan Dan, the Yang family's younger brother and his servants expressed their thanks loudly with excitement on their faces. At this time, Yang Feng turned his attention to Geng Xiaoli's body. With a wave of his hand, a space ring flew out from her body and fell into Geng Xiaoli's hand. He said, this space ring is given to you. It contains some cultivation materials. The resources should be enough for you to cultivate to the Dharma realm. Thank you for the reward. After taking a look at the space ring in her hand, Feng Xiaoli shouted loudly with excitement on her face. Okay, I'm practicing in seclusion. There's nothing serious about disturbing my practice. Yang Feng waved his hand, said something, and walked towards the Vulcan Peak Hall. As Yang Feng entered the Vulcan Peak Hall, the gate of the hall automatically closed. Without Yang Feng's permission, no one can enter the palace. I am short of skills and elixirs now, so I can practice in seclusion and improve myself. After arriving at the training room of the hall, Yang Feng sat cross-legged, murmured softly, took out a second-level magic pill, swallowed it, and used the fifth-level skills of Shentian Ju to refine the second-level magic pill. Pure energy. Ding! You have practiced the fifth level of Shentian Ju once and condensed a ray of Dharma. The effect of the practice is returned 10,000 times. Your Dharma has increased by 10,000 rays. With a crisp reminder sound, Yang Feng's sea of consciousness instantly increased by 10,000 wisps of magic. However, Yang Feng ignored the reminder sound in his ear, but directly turned it off and concentrated on practicing. Time passed like flowing water, and in the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Finally, I have cultivated to the peak of Yin and Yang realm, and I can break through the bottleneck of Yin and Yang realm and be promoted to a heavenly realm cultivator. Feeling the surging magic in the sea of consciousness, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with expectation, and he sighed softly. With the assistance of the cultivation effect return system, Yang Feng's cultivation speed should be 10,000 times faster than that of the same level cultivators, easily breaking through the bottleneck of Yin and Yang realm and being promoted to a heavenly realm cultivator. But in reality, Yang Feng's cultivation speed is not much faster than that of the same level cultivators, because Yang Feng's sea of consciousness is tens of thousands of times larger than that of ordinary cultivators of the same level, and 10,000 times larger than that of excellent cultivators of the same level. The magic skills required to break through the bottleneck and enter the next level of cultivation are also tens of thousands of times that of ordinary cultivators of the same level, and 10,000 times that of excellent cultivators of the same level. Of course, correspondingly, Yang Feng's combat skills and endurance are also tens of thousands of times, or even tens of thousands of times, of cultivators of the same level. Yang Feng was able to cultivate to the peak of the yin-yang mirror in just 1 month, which was due to his outstanding talent, immortal-level blood talent, and a large number of second-level magic pills. When Yang Feng was about to break through the bottleneck of yin-yang realm, the mysterious token in the cave bead suddenly turned into a stream of light, shot out from the cave bead, and floated in front of Yang Feng. Then, the mysterious token released a series of teleportation lights, which wrapped up Yang Feng's body in his astonished eyes, making him disappear on the spot, and no trace was seen. Warm reminder: if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will deal with it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding.